Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all in my YouTube channel exploring the concepts, and I'm hoping that there would be everything would be going fine on your side. And let's start with today's lecture. That is Phylum Mollusca. This is chapter number 9, Kingdom Animalia, and I am at Phylum Mollusca. Let's start with its details. Phylum Mollusca characteristics means general characteristics, habit and habitat. First of all, we are going to know that what are its habits and what is its habitat. So free living or sessile. So these organisms, the habit of these organisms is they are free living or sessile, means they are not parasite, by the way. They are free living in the open world. And then habitat is live in fresh water. Habitat is they live in fresh water, marine water. So and on land as well. So they can live on fresh water, marine water, and land water. These three different types of habitat they are using the phylum molluscans, the members, and they are free living among the habit of the this group. Then phylum Mollusca characteristics, they are bilateral symmetry. I think so. There is no need to explain this term now. Means there is only a single angle through which you can get the duplicate organs on both sides of the symmetry. So the body is, by the way, symmetrical if you are going to cut them in longitudinal or lengthwise. So they are triploblastic as well. They had three tissue layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Then they are coelomates, means they are true coelomates, and they have the coelom is lined from both sides with the mesoderm. Then the body is soft. This is very important about mollusca. The characteristic feature of mollusca that their body is soft and unsegmented as well. So these two features are identifying feature of this phylum, that these members are soft bodied and unsegmented. So if they are soft, then they must have some protection in the form of exoskeleton. So let's go through its body parts. So body parts, among body parts, they have head, a sort of head by the way. Then ventral muscular foot. Another identifying feature, foot is there on the ventral side of the body and it is muscular as well. I'm going to repeat the characteristics of the foot, that the foot is on the ventral side, it is muscular, right? Muscular, ventral, muscular means it is soft once again, and it is using for the purpose of locomotion. And then dorsal visceral region means whatever the organs are present, they are present on its dorsal side. On the ventral side, it is just have the ventral muscular foot. Okay, let's see the some common examples along with the differentiation of the foot and head and the dorsal region as well. So this is a common land garden snail, and you have noticed this thing in this group of organism. This long soft structure is actually the its foot. This is its head region, and look at this diagram as well. You can see this is the foot. It is labeled as foot in this diagram. This region is the head region. Over here it has the mouth. This is the shell, and the shell is responsible for the protection of this soft bodied organism, and these are its tentacles. So muscular foot has different functions. It can help them in crawling, in digging, and catching prey as well. So this is a garden snail, and you have already noticed this type of organism, and as it is very common on land. This is freshwater mussel. It has exoskeleton, and it is also called as bivalvia. The word bivalvia means it has two shells on the both sides of the body. So this kind of organism is by the way called as bivalvia, and it is totally covered within the exoskeleton, and it has two a soft bodied organism. Now, this is the internal side of these bivalvia shells. This is oyster pearl. This is an example of pearl oyster. You can see the pearls forming inside the body, and this is the whole organism, which is a very soft bodied organism. So why it has such kind of hard protection, because the body is soft. Okay, then moving on, the visceral part and the body structures on the whole. Okay, let's start with this gray structure, brownish grayish structure, foot. This is its on its ventral side, and it is muscular. This is its foot, which is somewhat bigger than, and it is according to the side of the body, size of the body as well. Okay, this is the foot, right? Now this region is actually the head region or mouth region, right? This is, it has the mouth. Mouth has a very specific tongue. You can see in this diagram that mouth has a very specific tongue, and tongue has some blade like structure, and these structures are actually the teeth. The tongue has teeth in three rows, the pointed teeth in three rows, and snails and cuttlefish, they have scraping like mode of nutrition. They are herbivores. They take the leaf in their mouth and then scrap it and take the nutrition. So they have radula, a very specific tongue that have pointed teeth on its tongue, which is going to help them in scraping the food. This is radula, and that pink region is actually the mouth. And after mouth, you can see that yellow ring. This yellow ring is actually the brain of the organism, and these two are the nerve cords going on the lateral sides of the ventral region, from the ventral region on both the lateral sides. So uh, this is the ring of nerve tissue, and we can call it as the brain as well. So this is its nervous system. This is the mouth. Mouth is ending, sorry, going on in going into the esophagus. Then esophagus will open into the stomach. Stomach will into so-called the intestine, and then it will open to the outside through anus. So digestive system is tube-like, and it has two openings, mouth and anus. Okay, so these all of these structures are basically called as the visceral mass, the dorsal visceral region, and that dorsal visceral region contains all of the visceral mass. Let me take the pointer, by the way. Okay, now this is the stomach. Okay, this is the whole is the digestive system. Now let's go to its circulatory system. These are its gills. Gills are responsible for the purification of the blood. And then this is the heart, the function of the heart, to pump the blood to the whole of the body. And this is sort of dorsal aorta. It will distribute the blood to the whole body. The blood circulatory system is open blood circulatory system. All of the organs, they will wash into the blood. Okay, and then this is gonads, and it can be the testes or the ovaries. Most of the organisms are hermaphrodite, so means both the or gonads are present in the same organism. Okay, now now I'm telling you a very specific structure which is present just in this group. This blue line, that blue line is called as the mantle. That mantle is going to cover the whole of the visceral organs. Whole of the visceral organs, all the visceral mass is protected by this mantle. This mantle is also responsible for secreting that outer shell. This mantle is also responsible for secreting this shell as well. This shell can be external, or in some cases it can be internal. Okay, so I have discussed all of the major things in this diagram. Now let's go to the next slide. Okay, the mantle encloses the mollusk visceral mass. I have told you this already in that figure. That mantle encloses the mollusk visceral mass, which is in its internal, or which are its internal organs, including the heart, stomach, intestine, and gonads. I have shown you all of the organs. Then in mollusks that have shells, such as clams, mussels, and snails, the mantle is what secretes calcium carbonate and a matrix to form the mollusk shell. I have told you already that the outermost covering of the visceral of the internal organs is called as mantle, and mantle is going to secrete the shell as well. So the shell may be external, internal, or even absent. This is very interesting line about this group. This line is very, very interesting. I've this line that the shell may be external in case of snail. It may be internal in case of squids, and it or even absent in case of octopus. The skeleton, right? The exoskeleton, the shell may be absent altogether in case of octopus. So there are multiple changes, multiple things, multiple variety of organisms are present in this group. Okay, this is once again the same figure, but with different orientation. So it is you have to tell me the major parts of of this organism. This is the muscular. Some of the parts are labeled as well. This is muscular foot. You can see the whole of the body is covered with this muscular foot, and this is radula, the tongue, which has the pointed teeth as well. This is the mantle, covering all of the organs, and mantle is also responsible for secreting the shells. Shells can be external, shells can be internal, and there are organisms which do not have skeleton not at all. Now there are some features of this group of organism. Many are marine, some are fresh as well, some live on the moist and land. This is their habitat. I have already discussed it with you that its habitat include that it has yeah. Many marine are, some are fresh and some on land. The body has basically three parts: head, head, foot, and visceral mass. The body has three parts: head, foot, and visceral mass. Then we have discussed symmetry, bilateral, radula for feeding, mantle secrete the calcareous shells. The shells are the chemical composition of the shells are calcium, right? Some coelom for small coelom for heart, nephridia, and gonads. So there are coelom as well because they are coelomates. They have spaces around the heart, nephridia, and gonads. Acha, I'm going to discuss the larvae trochophora a little after discussing the coelom. Okay, and then once again, yes, the organism have open circulatory system. This organism have open circulatory system. It means that this vessel, let me take the pointer. Okay, this vessel, which is called as aorta, right? This is heart. The heart pumps the blood to the whole of the body, and that space, the cavity, is basically called as hemocoel. The word seal means cavity. Hemocoel, it means the cavity from where the blood can be can pass through. Also, this organism does not have any blood vessel, and they have open circulatory system. The blood is not enclosed in the blood vessels, and it is moving freely throughout the cavities and sinuses. The cavities and sinuses are the open spaces, the body cavity in patches. It means the body cavity in patches. There is not a continuous coelom. The coelom is in the form of channels, hemocoelic channels, or sinuses. It can be around the heart, it can be around the gonads, it can be around the nephridia and around the digestive system as well. So hemocoel is actually the interconnected sinuses, the spaces within the mollusk's body. I'm hoping that this is the another very important feature of this phylum, that they have hemocoel. The cavity contains the fluid filled cavity, has the fluid which is called as blood, right? Okay, so these are the points. You can read it through these points. These are actually the revision of all of the major points of mollusks. It's a reading material. Okay. Then reproduction in mollusk. Most mollusks reproduce sexually. Sperms and eggs are released into the water at the same time where fertilization occurs. So this is the group where organisms are monoecious, and they release. It can be dioecious as well, and they release the sperms and egg at the same time because the fertilization is external in some cases. Many gastropods that live on land are hermaphrodite. They have the ability to produce both sperms and eggs. Some are hermaphrodites as well, commonly found in slow moving animals because it increases the likelihood of fertilization. So they are hermaphrodites because they are slow movers, and it will help them in continuing their race. All mollusks share similar developmental patterns. The larval stages of mollusks are similar. So trochophore larva, which is a very specific larva, is present. This is trochophore larva. Is present in all of the organism. This kind of a very specific type of larvae is present throughout the mollusca phylum, and it's a very specific ciliated. It have cilia for its movement and for the trapping the food. So most mollusks are dioecious, some are hermaphroditic. Dioecious means sexes are separate. And hermaphroditic means when the sexes are present in one organism. So the life cycle of many mollusks includes a free swimming ciliated larval stage that is called trochophore. So please keep this in mind that mollusks have trochophore larvae. Mollusks have trochophore larvae. Okay. Then this is a snail. Some common example: snail. This is garden snail. This is the slug, and then this the first one is cuttlefish, and then is squid. Then this is pearl oyster and freshwater mussel. You can see the ventral muscular foot in that example as well. Okay, then this is once again the cuttlefish. Sorry, this is squid, and this is cuttlefish, and this is the internal structure of the squid. I want to show you the shell which is present inside the body in case of squids. And this is octopus. The difference between octopus and squids and cuttlefish is octopus have 8 arms, by the way, 8 legs, you can say. So arms or legs, 8 in number, while in these two organisms they have 10 legs, but the size they are have the in the form of arms, and have tentacles, and have some suction like structure present in the tip of the arms, or in the tentacles, you can say. And these are the arms of octopus, which are 8 in number, and they have eyes like structure. In all three organisms you can see an eye like structure. This is the structure which they are going to use, obviously, to differentiate between light and dark. And also they have black and white vision, right? Octopus, squid, and cuttlefish, they have black and white vision. Okay, these two groups have internal skeleton, and this octopus have no skeleton at all, right? So there are certain differences between the organisms. In any case, they have, obviously they have many differences among them, but they have many common points among them. They share many things. They have mental, all of them have mental, all of them have soft bodied, or all of them are soft bodied unsegmented organisms. So they are, this is the end of the my lecture, and I'm hoping, I thank you all for the patience listening. So if you have any question, you can ask me at any time. You can write me in the comments, and I'm always here with you for your help. I thank you all. We will meet again, inshallah, in my next lecture.